Wisconsin Republican Congressman Derrick Van Orden. He's a retired Navy SEAL senior chief who served on multiple combat tours. He now serves on the House Armed Services Committee. Thank you for your military service, Congressman. Welcome to the show.
Well, you're welcome. America's worth it.
What are you hearing about the current situation, of course, again, as a member of the Armed Services Committee?
Well, it's about time this happened. Let's remember, Iran has been at war with the United States for 47 years. They bombed the barracks in Beirut. They bombed the barracks in the Khobar Towers. They're responsible for the deaths of about 17 to 20% of all of the casualties in the Iraq War. They bombed Pan Am 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland. They are the largest state sponsor of terrorism that the world has ever seen before. They're responsible for arming the Houthis, which closed down international shipping, costing the world tens of billions of dollars. And it's just time for them to go. So I'm incredibly proud of our military. And I want the families of them to know that they're going to have every single thing they possibly need from the Congress to prosecute this mission with the greatest amount of success and the least danger to our troops.
Congressman, were you briefed about the U.S. strikes ahead of time, or did you learn with the rest of us, with the rest of the world?
Well, I'm not part of the Gang of Eight, but the Gang of Eight was briefed in direct compliance with the War Powers Resolution of the War Powers Act of 1973. So everything my Democrat colleagues are saying is just not true. The President of the United States and his administration is doing exactly, they're adhering to the letter of the law. So he has constitutional and also legislative authority to do what he is doing. And a lot of these guys are just showboating, and they're saying that they don't agree with this military operation only because President Trump ordered it to take place, which is pathetic.
President Trump has already warned of possible casualties, saying it's the price of war. Luckily, thankfully, no American lives have been reported to be lost in this operation thus far. What is your read on the success of the attacks?
It's remarkable. Just remarkable. With the operations previously, Midnight Hammer, and then getting Maduro, that drug kingpin out of Venezuela, and these are three of the most complex, sophisticated, and exquisite military operations that has ever taken place. So I want every single Democrat senator that derided Pete Hegseth during that pathetic hearing that they held for him to apologize to him directly, because I don't see another SecDef pulling this stuff off. And under the leadership of Donald Trump, we're going to have world peace.
Let's talk numbers, Congressman. Last year's U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities are estimated to have cost roughly $1 to $2 billion. Are you worried at all about the cost of this current U.S. military operation?
Ma'am, the life of every single American service member that the Iranian regime killed is priceless. And anytime we can save American lives, I don't care how much money we're spending. The federal government's primary responsibility is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. We just heard that, didn't we? So I don't care how much money we are spending if we are saving Americans' lives. I will go to work and pay my taxes every single day if I know that our American servicemen and women have everything that they need to prosecute these missions in the most safe manner possible, and God bless them for doing it.
Congressman, do Americans want another foreign conflict, though? Granted, this was before the strike, so a little bit more than 24 hours ago. Most polling shows, and this is Republicans and Democrats, don't want to get involved in foreign conflicts. What are your constituents saying to you about these latest attacks?
They want peace. They want peace through strength. Again, the Iranian regime has been at war for 47 years with the United States. Donald Trump did not start a new war. He's ending a very, very old one. And it's about time that this has taken place. We simply cannot allow these people to project negative power throughout the most sensitive region in the entire planet. We need to get on with business. We want the Persian people to live in peace and prosperity, and we want to make sure that they are a value added to the Middle East, not a detractor. And that's what's taking place right now.
What happens next in Congress?
Oh, we're going to see a whole bunch of people showboating, standing on the Capitol steps, screaming about stuff they don't know what they're talking about, just to get social media hits and do some fundraising. And then we're going to carry on with the country's business. I know Tuesday I'm going back. I'm going to start marking up the Farm Bill, because any nation that can't feed itself is inherently dependent on another nation, and we're not just going to do that. These military operations are national security, but so is food security. And that's what we're doing. We're getting on with the people's business.
Congressman Derrick Van Orden, and we've actually had a lot of farmers on this show who have been talking to us about their economic hardships. I'm glad you brought that up briefly. Always good to see you, sir. We hope you come back. Thank you again.
Well, yes, ma'am. God bless you and your viewers.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.